let me just say a few words before we go into the meditation. Partly I wanted to ask that question about what are you engaging with, what's alive, what have you valued recently? Because we've been doing imaginal practice in these last 2 months, and for me, imaginal practice is very expansive. It includes how we sense the world and how stories resonate with us. And so how we might actually pick up something, fiction, TV shows, movies, podcasts, and non-fiction text as well, and it resonates in some way. It touches something in us. Maybe that's about identity, about our past, in how we're sensing, how we're perceiving ourselves and others in the world. And so what I want to explore in the meditation today is we'll do some grounding and drop into the body, come into that space, a bit of calming and settling, but then actually exploring a little bit of the imaginal side of practice, trying out some different images to see what feels right for us, and especially what feels resonant, what feels meaningful in relation to the path itself. So we've done a few meditations around this, but the idea here is like we always have some sense of an image of ourselves in relation to practice, whether that's like, oh, I only practice sporadically, or I'm, very dedicated, or I'm very devoted, or I'm, practicing to heal myself. There's all these different ways of seeing the path and practice. And so we're going to just drop in a few of those and see what it does. So now I'll invite you to make your way into a comfortable meditation posture. So good to just sort of put away anything that might vibrate or beep or disrupt your space. And check your seating arrangement, any props that you're using, how you're going to be set up. And as you come into your posture, let's just do a few gentle movements. So I'll suggest starting with some shoulder rolls, just rolling the shoulders back and then forward. Maybe turning the head to one side, looking to one side, turning to the other side, doing that again on each side. And you might like to raise your arms above you, stretch, and maybe twisting a little bit each side. And then it can be nice to just shake out the hands, the arms. Just make any movements that would feel good for you for right now. Just really connecting with the body. What does your body feel like at this time of the day? Everything that's come before it. Then find your way to a comfortable meditation posture. Now, try to set up your posture so that you'll be both relaxed and alert. And try to create the conditions here so you won't have to move. You won't have to change the posture at all. Once you set it up, you can just let it be. Just checking the placement of your legs and the hands. Finding that uprightness in the spine. And then allowing the weight of the body to just sink in to whatever is supporting you. Now let's do 3 rounds of breath. So I'm going to guide this, but feel free to just breathe in whatever way feels good and comfortable for you. You can breathe at your own pace. So if you're following along, breathing in, letting the belly expand, and then breathing out, smooth, long exhale. Breathe out all the air. Then breathing in, filling the lungs. Pause at the top, and then breathe out, releasing, relaxing. And one more round, breathing in a sense of trust and confidence. Pause at the top, take another little sip of air, and then breathe out, releasing anything you don't need to hold on to, releasing limiting beliefs. And then let your breath fall into a comfortable rhythm. And let your mind fall open. Notice the awareness that is already here, bright and clear. Now bring to mind your field of support. So this is recalling beings who have supported your practice, teachers, friends, colleagues, family members, perhaps historical figures or imaginal figures. You might also like to bring to mind beings who you are practicing for, someone specific who would benefit as this practice helps you. The benefits flow onto them. And you can imagine all of these beings there with you, sitting together. And feel that sense of support. Notice here if you do sense something imaginally, that could be visual, could be a felt sense. Could also be something you hear, or a word, a phrase. Something that lands for you is guidance and support. Practicing with and for this field of support. And then let that image fade. And bring your attention to the sensations of the present moment. Particularly noticing any sensations that are stable, grounding, safe. And this could be the feeling of sitting where your body is supported and held. could also be the sensations of the breath. Could be a sound, something in the visual field. Anything that is stable and grounding for you. And once you have that anchor, you can borrow some of the stability. Allow that to help you drop down. Just hanging out with that sensation. Then you can let the anchor move into the background, and feel free to return to that at any point that grounding would be helpful. And we'll actually bring attention to the body. So feeling into the base of your body. And then expanding to include the whole of the lower body. From the hips down to the toes, both legs. Then feeling from the waist up to the shoulders, the whole of the torso, the belly and chest, the sides, the lower back, middle back, and upper back. And then including both arms, from the shoulders down to the fingertips. And then including the neck, the throat, and including the head, back of the head, top of the head, sides of the head, the ears, forehead, eyes, nose, cheeks, mouth and jaw, the whole of the head, and the whole of the body, filled with bright, sensitive awareness. And here you are aware of sensations like warmth and coolness, texture, pressure. You might also be aware of a felt sense, a feeling, a tonality, this overall feeling of the body. And this might be vague or murky, It might have a more than words quality. Like if you tried to describe exactly what that feeling is, you couldn't quite capture it. And that's totally fine. Just stay with that feeling. Stay with that present moment experience of the body. Allowing yourself to ground into the body. Settling the mind into the body. But maintaining an alertness, a brightness, clear presence. And whatever you're noticing in that body space, see if you can be with it. Being in relationship with the present moment. And perhaps this is even being intimate, being close. Really taking in the full richness of the body experience. And really allowing that experience to unfold exactly how it is. And just check here that you are both relaxed and alert. Just making sure that there is a collectedness and a settling, while also having a bright presence, knowing exactly what is happening. And as you stay with the body, start noticing if there is anything forming imaginally. Start to notice where images might arise or be waiting in the wings, ready to form. And for this practice, I invite you to trust whatever shows up. To trust and explore. To not dismiss any image, any felt image, any felt sense. And this could be visual, could be words or phrases that arise, could be a feeling. As I give the following prompts, see if you can trust, have full permission to let the mind create, to discover new senses, new ways of experiencing. Good. Now bring to mind your sense of yourself. Now for some of you, even just doing that, you'll notice the self is an image. You see yourself a certain way. You see your body a certain way. And it's imbued with image. It's imbued with all of these different qualities. And some of this is identity, race, gender, sexuality, age, cultural background, upbringing, profession. All of this forms part of your self-image. But the self-image is also how you relate to yourself. So just noticing what arises when you bring forward the self-image. When you notice how you are sensing yourself. And then noticing, how do you sense yourself in relation to practice? What is your sense of the path of practice, of tradition, of lineage, of where meditation goes, of what is possible in practice? And so these are huge questions. So just noticing any thoughts, noticing any feelings, and just letting that experience unfold. Now I'm going to go through 10 different archetypes, 10 different ways that you could see yourself, different figures you could embody, different characters. I want you to just notice what comes up for you with each. See if any resonate for yourself and for your sense of practice. And so the first is the healer. Seeing yourself as a healer, or seeing yourself as being healed. Can practice be about healing for you? What is it to see the teachings as a guide on how to heal yourself, heal others, or heal the world? Notice how that lands for you in the body. Notice any images that arise. Entertaining the unfolding experience. And the second is to be a disciple. What if your role is to diligently take on the teachings, to be a student, to learn the ways of tradition and of the past, what has been captured before you? And the sense of the disciple has a reverence for the teachings, for the way that has been laid out before you. And the third is the custodian. What if your role is to somehow protect, maintain, to guard, to steward, and to care for the practice, your own practice, others' practices, perhaps even the tradition. Perhaps you are the custodian of certain qualities, loving kindness, compassion, nurturing these, guiding them. The fourth image is the explorer. What if your role in practice is to move through uncharted territory, to uncover new terrain, new landscapes of the mind, of your experience, to be an explorer of consciousness. And this could also be a researcher, trying to move beyond what is already known. And the fifth image is the sorcerer or magician, wizard. And what if practice does something magical? What if your mind can conjure experiences, thoughts, images, feelings that are beyond the mundane? What if practice gives you access to something supramundane? Or allows you to shift experience? And the next image is the artist. Practice as a creative act. Life as a creative expression. What if there was always more to express, more to explore, always new ways of configuring, resonating with, exploring, combining? What if practice and the path were endless, endlessly creative? And the next image is the lover. As a lover of practice, a lover of life, of other beings, of yourself. What if that was the goal? What if that was the path? That the practice in life was the endless cultivation and expression of love. With this care and warmth and tenderness. And finally, the last image I'll share is the outsider. What if you are operating outside of any of these images? Operating outside of systems, outside of the existing structures. And this could also be the activist, speaking truth to power. Seeing the image of those operating in the margins, in the undercommons, in the spaces between. And now notice what's landing in your body. Notice what feels alive for you. And just notice any resonance, any images that have held or that have felt meaningful. And just staying with that for a moment longer. Good. Now, gently transition out of the formal meditation. As you do, notice how you feel. Notice what it's like to begin opening the eyes. Notice what it's like to start being in relation with the space around you, with the Zoom. Noticing how all of this lands for you.